Then had like a dusting this morning, but that's about it.
Yeah, I came down Tuesday downstate. My sister was having surgery, so I was down there from Tuesday night until yesterday morning.
Hey, hold on 1 second. Hey, Cortez. Will we be able to hear her on the speakers here for?
You want me to turn those on?
Yeah, on the one feed here, they'll be able to hear it.
Okay.
That's because I'm going away from the mic. Hold on.
Oh, you talking for your feed?
Yeah. All right, there we go.
Yeah, those are on already. PA speakers.
PA speakers were on?
That wasn't.
Oh,
I think that's why, because it wasn't.
But now it's going in beat with the music. Beep, 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 beep. All right, let's see. I guess I have to read this on the air. This will be fun.
Dude in the freaking house.
Good thing I brought my glasses. That sucks. If you don't have your glasses.
All right.
Let me get my tea ready. I had like a really bad acid reflux attack last night. It was bad. And we're about to go on there.
Are you still moving back and forth from the microphone? Because when you're talking to me, you're still really shaky.
But for whatever reason, even though it's muted.
It might be the music. I don't know.
Hey, what's up, Dan? I just see your text.
It'll probably change once we actually start going.
Like, oh, okay. Good. So it's no music on, even though you don't hear the music now?
Oh my God.
Okay, I got you. We might have to go live now anyway. I got you. All right, thank you.
What was that all about?
When she called in, the mics go live.
Oh, so they heard us.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dan.
All right, so let me go ahead and do your intro real quick.
Oh, well, ain't this cute? I'll leave that on so we can talk about that too. And we ready? This is borderline depressing. And is this playing on the speakers overhead or no? Is, oh yeah, there you go.
5, 4, 3.
And welcome once again, boys and girls, children of all ages, getting ready for the big fat man to come down, sliding down that pole and bringing you all sorts of stuffing up your little chimneys. This is Dawn, Rants in Our Pants. I got Cortez here as always, and unfortunately, Krista has not quite made it to the North Pole. She sent us a word on the wire like about maybe a couple of days ago that says she's right now somewhere just outside of Saskatchewan or Saskatchewan, however you want to say it, and basically said right now she's being blocked by a moose. So we'll find out. Uh-oh, I think we have a visitor. And who do we have on the Santa hotline?
It's Stacy.
Oh my God, an original OG member. Hey, how you doing?
I am back from the frozen north, also known as near Charlevoix, East Jordan, close to Boyne Mountain. And all that is lost on me because I hate snow.
You're in the right state, aren't you?
I'm in the right state, but I hate snow.
Well, I hate to tell you, you got to get used to it. Before we proceed, I just want to let everyone know who's listening and or watching on YouTube. This is Rants in Our Pants. This is the radiothon to try to help save the cave because this year has been a royal fucking dumpster fire and it's really taken a toll on this station. It's basically going to be 54 hours. This radio station has been in existence for 7+ years, and it's been supporting local Michigan businesses as well as the local Michigan artists. But we also branch out nationwide. We are heard, I believe, nationwide at www.crbradio.com. There are over 100, do you hear me? 100 different shows that have broadcasted on this station. Many people here have gone to one of the broadcasting schools here in Michigan, Specs Howard. Most people here have been born and raised in Michigan, most in Redford, Michigan, including the person that's freezing her little sleigh bells off. But if you want to help save the cave, you can go purchase raffle tickets. You can earn a Barry Sanders autographed authenticated frame jersey. That's first prize. Second prize is a basket of cheer, which is wine and booze. You cannot get more cheery than that. Third prize is a Detroit Red Wing, and if I'm pronouncing this a little funny, I'm still lacking a tooth here. I'll get into that a little bit later in the show. Detroit Red Wing autographed authenticated framed photo, and there's going to be a fourth and a fifth prize, but they have not been determined yet what those prizes will be. If you want to purchase a raffle ticket, you can get them for $10 each. You can purchase them on the Cash App with $Cave Radio, Venmo at Daniel. I'm just going to say mine.
It's Daniel-Mayer-13.
See, this is why I always loved having you on the show. You could get where I was blinking.
Well, I'm actually on Venmo right now making a donation. So if I can do it, and I live up north, anybody listening should do it too, because this is some good shit.
Thank you. And you get a standing ovation for that one. You can also do it on PayPal at DEEJER at caveradiobroadcasting.com. That's on PayPal. Please make sure you leave your name and cell phone number in the note. Okay? And we do thank you in advance for helping try to keep Cave Radio alive. Okay?
You can also donate through Cash App at $Cave Radio.
Thank you for that. Gave me a moment to sip my tea too. So, with that out of the way, let's play catch up because it's been a while. I mean, I've seen you recently, But it's been a while since you've actually sat in on the show, so let's clue people in first. To those who are new or just listening, Stacy here was one of the original co-hosts of this little show. And how did we come about coming up with the show?
We just wanted to bitch about as much as we could.
About mostly about politics. Yes, it did.
Yeah.
It did not come to that. But we basically got together to wax poetic, extend our woes, and just basically, as she said, bitch about politics and how we just were freaking pissed.
Yep. We also had some pretty cool guest hosts. We had Johnny Paisano.
Yes, we did.
And the much loved Nana.
Oh, you can't. I honestly miss Nana. I really do.
Nana was awesome. You know, I was lucky enough to have her in my life for 47 years or 46 years. For those of you guys who don't know, who do remember Nana, who told us all about her little, let's say, should I say, risky escapades as a 16-year-old on the neighbor's porch.
Yeah.
Things I know about.
That was priceless because the look on your face was like, what?
Yeah. Nana unfortunately left us last February, and there is not a day that goes by that I don't miss that lovely lady. But she is here with us in spirit, and her legend lives on in the videos I was able to take of her while she lived with me, the pictures, and in the Cave Radio podcast.
Yep.
That are back there. So if you want to hear some of the risque details that an 86-year-old woman was willing to tell, please go back and listen.
Oh yeah, because trust me, they were priceless. They were very priceless.
Yeah, I couldn't believe half the things she never told me, and we were thick as thieves. She was my person. I never heard that story before. I was like, what the hell?
The other one I kind of remember, besides the porch, shall we say, shenanigans, was what did you call it? The tie-dye turkey?
Yes. My aunt decided to dye her jeans in the turkey roaster. Didn't clean it up well enough, and when my grandmother my Nana went to go make the turkey that Thanksgiving, it came out blue. Just
Yeah,
blue.
I've heard of blue waffles, but never blue turkey.
Yeah, they didn't eat it. I don't know what they did, because back then things were closed on Thanksgiving.
So I would imagine it was nothing but mashed potatoes, maybe some candied yams or whatever. Just no turkey.
But no meat.
Also was no blue waffles.
No. As long as it wasn't a blue waffle, I think you were all good. You should consider yourself thankful for that.
Yeah.
And
But yeah, you knew, and you knew. And my Nana was happy about almost everything. She never really had anything bad to say. But I will tell you, there are certain cases when I was younger, when my brother did things that, well, let's just say the police called me at 2:00 in the morning, saying that he had been arrested. He was 15 years old. I had to give them my grandmother's number because my mom's dad, I was almost 18, so it was okay for me to stay there with him. But I fell asleep and he snuck out of the house. Nana, when she got mad, she got silent.
that's usually never a good sign with any woman.
Oh, but this was, yeah, she was, yeah. And I'm going to let you in a little secret. I loved my Nana very much, but she was in the old school. You take a shower 3 times a week. Okay. So there was always this one spot on the couch where she sat. We used to call that the butt spot.
The butt spot.
The butt spot. And, somebody sits there who only takes 3 showers a week. You can tell what it smelled like. Yeah, his punishment that night after spray painting a police officer's car, without him knowing that it was a police officer's car that he spray painted. Yeah, my brother had to sleep in that spot all night.
Okay.
Yeah. So, anyway, I digress. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, and then the other time I just recently saw you, you were officiating a wedding?
Yes, I was. Two lovely ladies and a very small, very cold, very crowded
It wasn't that crowded.
scene in hell. And I can't believe it was Halloween in hell.
And it was cold, too.
It was, oh, geez, Jason and this very lovely lady with beautiful red hair. I think it was you and your wife.
Yeah, I think it was, now that I think about it.
Yes, and that was a lot of fun.
I'm going to tell you something right now. There was a moment. We haven't really talked about the wedding in detail here because we practically took the month of November off. But basically, the one thing that was almost a breaking point, and I'm not saying deal breaker point, but literally like maybe there's an omen here somewhere kind of moment, is I had a whole speech planned of what I was going to say, and it got ruined the minute that door flew open.
Yes, that was interesting. For anybody who's never been to the Little Wedding Chapel in Hell, it's tiny. You could fit maybe 3 seats on each side, and those are lengthwise, not back and back to each other.
Yeah.
It's a tiny little thing.
Picture a shed, a little tiny shed.
And it wasn't particularly windy that day.
Yep.
But that door in the middle, just we're like right on cue. Dawn goes to speak, and it goes boom.
Yeah, and my entire speech of what I had planned to say to Amanda that day got thrown out the damn window, and I just sounded to me. She's like, "You were fine." I'm like, "Yeah," but to me, it sounded like completely like me. You hit it. That was basically it.
Yep.
But
it was good. It was nice. It was sincere. It was loving. I especially liked when you guys put the lock, the specialty lock on that little gate. That was pretty cool.
yeah, and I've known people, Krista and her wife included, that had their initials engraved in theirs, but I was just like, you know what? I know the tradition is technically you're supposed to take the locks and it has to be a key lock and you throw the lock into the river. And I'm thinking, I don't want to put metal in the river. Fuck that. So I figured a combination lock, because I'll forget the combination anyway. So there you go. Matter of fact, I couldn't even tell you what the combination was. I really couldn't tell you. But yeah, that was a good day. And it actually, considering how 2020 has been, and we had to postpone the reception, we had to very limit who could be there and all that, considering all that. And I do feel bad for a lot of people who had to cancel their weddings entirely because they wanted to have the big production.
Yes, I actually know a couple people that happened to. So.
Yeah, so do I. And
Yeah. Sorry. I'm turning my heater on. I'm upstairs in my new office, and it's freezing my focus off.
You didn't turn the heater on first. You did not plan this well.
Well, I wasn't cold until just now.
She says as she goes and cranks it up to 11. But yeah, all in all, it wasn't a bad day. A lot of people were denied a lot of big days, and I really do sympathize with everybody on that. I mean, everybody in some ways got hit hard with the way things are currently running. And again, this is why the Cave Radio is doing the radiothon, because if anyone really got hit hard as well, it was this group. Because I think from what I remember, we used to have a lot of shows on Cave Radio. And then the pandemic hit, and you were basically, a lot of people were limited to leaving their homes. They couldn't go out. You could only go out if you were an essential worker. So no one could come to the studio, record their shows, then people had to get creative and do things over Zoom or Skype or whatever have you. But in the case of Cave Radio, what keeps the studio open is all the shows. We all basically pay fees and all that stuff, and it's to keep this place afloat. And when you don't have people coming in, what the hell is that? Was that you? Stop deep throating the mic, Stacy.
I am sorry, guys. I went to get up and I forgot I had mic set on my head. It
Yanked off.
you heard it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm like, what the?
I think that Greek wedding thing where she goes to get up and it strangles her and she falls back on the floor.
Yeah, that could have been worse. We would have heard. But oh, where was I going with this? Oh yeah. But yeah, they did lose a lot of shows, and Dan is such a great guy. He does, he doesn't charge people full price if you can't record in the studio, but when you lose a lot of radio shows, it adds up. And he took a huge loss.
Yeah, and the rent doesn't go down.
Nope.
Just because you can't be in the building. So you still have the same amount of rent. Your heat bill might go down, but you still have the internet prices that aren't going to go down. You still have the rent. You still have to heat it in some way, so those bills aren't going to get forgiven.
Nope.
So yeah.
And
that's why I was very excited to be invited back to this kind of reunion show. Yeah.
yeah, and
anything I could do to kind of help out the cave is awesome.
And the whole thing is this it just reflects on the current times. A lot of businesses, not just the cave, a lot of businesses really have suffered. There have been gyms that had, when the closures started, they closed. And I'm not talking about your big, chain gyms. I'm talking about your little mom and pop type like gyms. They had to close. You had restaurants that took a major hit. They could only do carry out, so waitresses weren't needed. That's why I think when everyone always says, I can't wait for this year to be over. This past year was so horrible. Everyone said that about every year. But I think we can all truly agree 2020 will live down as the year that really, truly fucking blew donkey balls.
Yeah.
I mean, how bad did you guys, because I know you and your husband, you guys run a business, I think more up north now than originally with, didn't you do I don't want to say fishing tours. That would be too vague.
No, guide fishing.
Thank you.
My husband takes people out, teaches them how to fish, or if they already know how to fish, he takes them out on their boat, shows them the good spots on the river, and they fish for salmon and steelhead, stuff like that. Now, his main business down there, he was considered an essential worker because of the type of business he did, which was fixing garage doors and things like that, because a lot of the accounts they had were for police departments and city halls and fire departments and things like that. But he still had to take a cut in pay in order to be able to still be employed. And when the governor cut all outside activities, like all voting with motors, we had to cancel probably 20 trips. Now, when you think about those 20 trips, that's at least 20 trips. When you think about those 20 trips, they're at least $200 each. That was a good chunk of our income. Now, when she finally opened it back up in the middle of May, yeah, we could still bring people in, but we had to make up those trips. So the trips that we could have had in May open and bring more money in are now booked with the previous people. So, it hit us, but we were lucky enough to have, another source of income during this time. but so many people weren't able to, and they've lost so much. And I feel really bad for the mom up here in East Jordan, all these mom and pop shops, the restaurants. I mean, Governor Whitmer just opened up casinos and movie theaters and bowling alleys, but you can't have food or drink.
Well,
That makes no sense to me, because you have so many more people in casinos and bowling alleys than you do in the restaurants. And the restaurants are the ones that are suffering, are one of the ones suffering the most. Casinos, they're always going to make money.
true.
And most of the money that these bowling alleys make, bowling alleys and movie theaters, they make their money not from the movies, but from the concessions.
Exactly.
So it's almost going to cost more money for them to reopen than to stay closed until January 15th.
Yeah, and that's the thing when they started opening up, like, well, not the theaters, but they allowed the drive-ins to open, because I think there was a gray area, because they said no, you can't open yet, even though they were following all the restrictions and following all the guidelines. Normally when Amanda and I go to the drive-in, we would always load up on like our tea or our chips or whatever. But ever since this all started, we know where they make their money. And we just decided, screw it. It's our way of trying to help. So we would get our snacks at the snack bar, which getting during the dead of winter is not that easy, folks. You have to walk back to your car, and it's kind of cold, holding a 32-ounce drink in your hands, going
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, there was some things about when even during the initial closures and when they were doing the gradual reopens, it didn't make a hell of a lot of sense. Like the whole thing of when they decided to open, and I know I'm going to get a lot of shit from some of our more imbibing patrons, but when they opened up the bars before the gyms, that pissed me off. I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
I think the bars, you should be able to go to the bars, but that's way more enclosed. You're running way more of a chance of, spreading than at a gym where you're spraying down the equipment before and after. You're wearing a mask. You're distance apart. It's like, are you fucking for real?
And even before any of this COVID started, ever since the big MRSA outbreak years and years ago, at least all the gyms I've gone to in the last 10 years have had spray bottles of cleaner.
Yep.
And all over the place. And you go clean, you clean off before and you clean off after.
Yep.
So it was like a no-brainer for these places to be open. But yeah, they opened up the bars, and of course they had that one huge outbreak at that bar in Lansing. And I'm just going to let you guys know, my sister has kids who are in high school. Her two youngest are in high school, and long distance learning, online learning. It's meant to keep everybody apart, but these kids still get together at each other's homes.
Yeah.
They still hang out. It makes absolutely no sense. I had my sister call me last week asking for me to give a hand to try to help my nephew understand what his literature assignment was about, and I looked at it, and she said that he was so frustrated, he was almost near tears, and I'm looking at this, reading it, I can't make heads or tails, and it's so difficult to understand what's going on without a teacher right there to ask.
Right.
Why?
Right.
And I even went to a college English professor that I used to babysit for and I took classes from, and we're still friends on Facebook, and I forwarded it to him. I'm like, can you give me any idea what this teacher is asking a 15-year-old boy? And he had no idea what she was trying to do. And he's like, this is like a college level. And I explained, this is online learning, and he said it's just so hard to have 15-year-olds who are already trying to mentally develop, who don't have a lot of the rest of the cognition that college kids have, they really can't. They need that one-on-one with the teacher, that instant, and it's a lot of kids are going to do very, very poorly this year because of that.
Yeah, and that is unfortunate. It really is. I mean, in some aspects I can you picture, now I'm not going to tell you to close your eyes, but can you picture back when we were in high school if this shit went down? You would have, I would say,
Oh yeah.
half not even half, maybe 3/4 of them going, yeah, fuck yeah. And then the rest of them going, what?
Yeah, it's like, are you going to mail us our assignments and then we have to mail them back to you, or do we drop them off? There was no internet when I was in school.
Well,
no internet.
It wasn't the internet as we know it now. You still had dial-up. You still had, it wasn't like where you could have video calls. You had to here's one for the folks, MS-DOS.
Oh my God.
You basically, you wouldn't have been able to function in the pandemic as it is now back in the 80s, back when we were in high school.
Right.
So it would have been like one long, very long summer break. And I don't know, I can't speak for you. As much as high school wasn't all that great for me, I think even after a while, I would have gone batshit crazy.
Well, I'm going to tell you what. My dad was home until 2:30 every afternoon because he worked afternoons. Oh my God. Yeah, I would not have been able to handle that. I love my dad now, but back then we butted heads, and it would have been like manual labor all day long until he left. I mean, he was in the Army. He was, almost like a drill sergeant to us. I'm like, yeah, so yeah, that wouldn't have been good.
No.
I probably would have been checked into Northville Psychiatric Hospital.
Which is now currently closed.
Yeah, and is it torn down there yet?
I don't know. I really have no idea. I think the last time I was over in that area was probably about maybe a couple of weeks before the wedding, if that. But let's move on to.
Used to give me the creep.
Oh, just for those listening, there's this place in Michigan that used to be open. It's called the Northville Psychiatric Center, and I always heard about the tunnels, and those things were absolute legend. If you could find a way to get in, people would either try or talk about how they would try. And
I did when I was 18.
Now, see, you're in that regard, you're braver than me.
Like 6 people went in. And it was every bit as creepy as they imagined. I actually went up. They had like a gymnasium auditorium type thing, and I actually crawled in through ductwork up to the roof, and we sat up there. Now I think I'm stupid for doing it, but when you were
you think you're stupid for doing it?
I'm sorry, what?
Now you're thinking you're stupid enough for doing it?
Well, yeah, but back then I'm the only girl in this group of guys, and there was this one guy who they called him the tunnel wizard, and we're going to these tunnels, all these different places.
No double entendre there, huh?
The only girl that's ever been in here that didn't freak out. I'm like, this is cool shit.
Yeah, no double entendre there, was there? The tunnel wizard, really?
Yes, his name was the tunnel wizard. I don't know what his name was, but it was in January. Was it January 1992, 91 or 92? And it was definitely January because it was snowy outside, and I stepped into a hole that went up past my ankle, almost sprained my ankle. But we walked out back through the woods and came out onto Hines Drive. And just as we got in our car, a Plymouth police officer pulled up beside us. Wanted to know what we were doing, and we're like, we just walked back from Burger King, which was only down the road, but he knew better. But he didn't catch us doing anything but getting back into our car.
Right, so he had no proof there.
Boy, yeah, but boy, that was the last time I did that. But it was fun. It was fun. Now those places are gone, and built like these like $300,000-$400,000 homes there, but I think the tunnels are still there.
The tunnels, I think, probably are, because you'd really have to do a lot of excavating to get rid of those things.
Yes.
But
that's probably something else for a Halloween show.
Yeah. But let's get into something a little scarier, the Christmas season.
Ooh, can I tell you what I'm doing tonight?
Oh, go for it.
Scary.
Go for it.
I have joined a group up in East Jordan called the Helping Hearts of East Jordan. We help raise funds for people who are going through cancer treatments. We raise money for gas cards so they can get to their treatments. But that's not the scary part. That's the good part. The scary part is
I was about to say you're scaring me there.
Light parade. I have been talked into dressing as an elf and being on a float.
Yep.
Yeah. A 220-pound elf. That's gonna be fun.
Oh God.
It's snowing, and it's warm enough where it's about to change into rain, and there's live reindeer, and I have to give out the kids, and all I want to do is just crawl back in bed, hibernate, maybe watch, A Christmas Carol, maybe root for Scrooge or the Ghost of Christmas Yet to Come. I don't know yet.
The ghost that is yet to come. Just, I'm sorry, dirty mind. Anyway, speaking of like watching Christmas and all that stuff, there's something that's been bugging me, and I'm shocked I haven't talked about it. But the whole thing with, there used to be, growing up, traditions. Every year, CBS would show Rudolph, Frosty. They'd show, all sorts of Christmas specials. And now, it's very rare if you get that, because of the simple fact that Apple TV decided, I don't know, let's buy up the majority of the Christmas specials, and the only way you can see them is if you buy Apple TV, and we'll stream it to you.
Oh yeah, that caused a huge, when they bought up all the Charlie Brown specials.
Yeah, especially the Charlie Brown specials. Oh my God, you would have thought, it's like, oh my God, we lose Linus, we riot.
Yeah, I was pissed. But then they're like, okay, well, for one day on PBS, you can watch it. Well, the PBS, a lot of people don't have cable anymore. A lot of people, they do, the streaming services. Well, PBS streaming didn't carry it.
Right.
So I did see Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer on CBS a couple weeks ago. I subjected Brad to it. If you move me to the frigid north, we're fucking watching Rudolph. And you're going to sit there and you're going to like it. Brad doesn't remember Brad. Brad is my husband. He is a Scrinch. He's the Scrooge and the Grinch combined.
Yeah, he's not a big Christmas guy.
He hates Christmas. But I am here more than he is because he's gone on the weekends fishing. So guess who has a house full of decorations right now?
Could it be you?
But I will tell you what, he surprised the hell out of me the other day. He was watching It's a Wonderful Life.
Get out of here.
He was in the roof. He watched that, and then I caught him the other day. I only heard the word Christmas. I heard Alexa, and then Christmas. And I turned the corner. I'm like, did you just request a Christmas song? He's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, honey, I'm so happy.
Is it kind of like busting him watching porn at this point, isn't it?
But wait till, I was really happy until I heard the song that he requested.
Uh-oh.
Mistress for Christmas by AC/DC. My joy went from joy to annoyance in like 0.3 seconds.
Oh, then you would have loved our house a couple of days ago. I'm playing around, walking around in women's underwear. I'm playing 12 Pains of Christmas, all the Bob River classics. But No, yeah, that annoyed me because I did watch, even though the Charlie Brown Christmas does get a little, shall we say, heavy-handed in spots. It's still a tradition, and even though some traditions were meant to die, this one isn't. And the thing is I saw that on PBS when they aired it, and I just love what they said afterward. It was just like basically, without coming right out and saying it, it was basically "fuck you, Apple TV." It's like the streaming services came in and they tried to be a Grinch and take all this away from you, but we said no, we're not going to let that happen. We're going to air it for free. So I thought that was really good on their part. I too also watched Rudolph. I watched a lot of the stuff when Amanda was not in the house, only because I know, even though she'll tolerate it and she watches it, she's not as much of a Scrinch as Brad is. But I do know it's just not her thing. I mean, she'll just be like...
That kind of is the same way. I wait and watch the stuff while he's gone. I watched a show called Mr. Saint Nick a couple of weeks ago. I have a list of movies I have to watch every year. They're all this one had Kelsey Grammer as the heir apparent to Santa. But I had like 20 minutes left of this movie and Brad got home.
Oh boy.
I'm like, oh boy.
Watching it fast forward.
I'm like, hey, I have a movie to watch. I'm going in the bedroom to finish watching my movie. He actually came in and watched it with me. I'm like, this is a Christmas movie, right? Yeah. Are you sure you're not going to like burst into flames or your head's not going to spin around if you watch this? So he goes, no, go ahead. I'm like, holy shit, moving up north, it totally changed his attitude.
It's a Christmas miracle.
It is. He's actually been so much nicer.
Well, this is what happens when you become isolated. Now, if it turns into The Shining, run.
Yeah. The cool thing about my new house, especially right now, is that there's a place called the Jordan Inn, which is right next to my house across the alley. It's got a bar. It's literally a 20-second walk from my door to their door. I'll just tell Brad, see ya.
And then as you stumble, crawl, crawl back home.
Nope. Driving was not involved in any of that.
Well, I wasn't implying that you were going to stumble, crawl in a Buick. But yeah, I think the only ones I got left to watch as far as Christmas special. I think we lost her. There she is again. She must. Did you yank the thing off your ear again, Stacy?
Kicked over the phone and it hung up on me.
That's what I figured.
The joys of telecommuting.
This is another thing 2020 has brought us, folks.
Yes.
But yeah,
Is telecommuting in the Webster's dictionary yet?
it will be, I'm sure.
It sure will.
No, the only ones I got left to watch, I think, even though we did watch it, I really wasn't paying attention, so I want to watch it probably tomorrow when this is about to hurt coming out of my mouth. Baking tomorrow.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know, right? But I'm going to play The Grinch, The Year Without a Santa Claus, of course.
That one's my favorite. Heatmeister, Snowmiser, my favorite.
And I've dubbed me and Amanda during the winter, I'm Heat Miser, she's Snow Miser, because we will fight over the temperature of the bedroom constantly.
So you're about to write new lyrics to Baby It's Cold Outside, huh?
Yeah.
I want to hear that.
Oh, I'm planning on penning it eventually.
Good.
But I think though, see if you remember this, and if you remember it, put it in adult mind into it. Do you remember the Rankin Bass Santa Claus is coming to town?
Yes.
Okay.
With the redheaded, the Santa's, the young. With the Meister Burger.
And of course, please call me Winter.
Yes, the Winter Warlock.
And he always says, if I have just a little bit more magic, motherfucker, every time you say that there's still magic there, you still fucking have magic. Just conjure the damn spell.
There was enough to put in Frosty's hat too, so what the hell are you talking
Exactly. But the thing that I noticed, and you brought it up with the baby, it's cold outside. And I know, was it last year or 2 years ago that they made the big deal of trying to pull that off the radio? I think it was 2 years ago.
Yeah. 2018, yeah.
Yep. The one thing I'm surprised they have not pounced on, and give it time, they will, is when Santa Claus comes to the town for the first time, and he does this song about, he's got a beautiful toy for a beautiful boy. Just sit on my knee. I got a gift for thee, type of thing. It almost looks predatory. I'm waiting for Chris Hansen to come out from behind the water fountain and go, why don't you have a seat, St. Nick? Or as your chat name says, Hard Cane +1. Peppermint Rod 72.
And you know what? Watching some of these again with an adult mind, like Rudolph with Abominable,
The Bumble.
the snow monster, Bumble, the snow monster. Yeah. Did anybody else think it was really, really mean for Herbie to pull all his teeth? I mean, as your kid, you're like, yeah, that's the way to do it. Now I'm like, well, what about Bumble rights? that wasn't fair.
Bumble rights? Are you serious?
Bumble rights, yes.
Great. We're gonna.
Now how is he gonna eat? He's doomed to like reindeer milkshakes the rest of his life.
Well, that means you have to grind up a reindeer, doesn't it?
Huh?
That means you have to grind up a reindeer, doesn't it?
Exactly. And isn't that gonna hurt them more?
Probably.
Exactly. These are the things I think in the frozen north when I'm by myself and don't really know anybody up here yet.
Oh boy, here we go.
Scary. It's scary.
If all of a sudden I hear, come play with us, come play with us, forever and ever.
Come play with us, Dawn. Come play with us.
And that's what I.
Okay, I know you're not the twin, so this is just fucking
Check, please. Yeah, there's a lot of things. I mean, I know when you're a kid, you don't really think about it. And this is the one thing about growing up that in a way kind of sucks. You don't notice how much of a prick Santa Claus is in that cartoon.
And how much a dick he was to Rudolph. Like, oh, you better fix that nose. Ha ha ha. Like, dick.
Well, not just that. He was.
Francis walked in and he goes, well, that wasn't very nice. But yeah, he was a dick.
He wasn't exactly very nice to the elves either. Remember, they're like, the song's just for you. And he's like sitting on the throne, head in hand, like, yeah, I'd rather be fucking Mrs. Claus right now. But no, I got to sit here and listen to your shit.
Well, when he was talking about, oh, I'll never be able to find my way, I'm like, yeah, maybe take off your hat and use the light on that chrome dome of yours. We can see. Like, I don't remember Santa being so bald.
Well, he's always wearing a hat.
Yeah, but still.
But you know what? Actually, that thing was kind of ahead of its time, because if you watch a lot of, I know you don't really go into the horror movies as much as I do, but if you go into, like, say, Shudder, and they, matter of fact, got one of their, live streams. They have like 3 that go constantly, but the middle one is usually used for psychological thrillers, but right now it's just nothing but Christmas-themed horror movies. And basically, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, in a way, was way ahead of its time of popularizing that Santa Claus isn't always a good guy.
Oh, speaking of that.
Uh-oh, here we go.
And I'm so sorry to interrupt you. Have you seen the movie Fat Man?
Fat
Mel
Man.
Gibson.
No, I have heard of it.
Santa Claus. I watched it. I was like, holy shit, Santa's a badass.
Did he make anti-Semitic rants and call people sugar tits?
Oh.
Just asking.
I highly recommend recommend anybody who wants. It is kind of a Christmas movie. It's a twist on Santa Claus, but I thought it was a joke at first. I thought it was one of those joke commercial type things. No, it's a real movie. It's about 2 hours long, and it's really good. I was shocked.
Brought to you by the people at The Onion.
It's not a happy feeling that it's a Santa's going to kill you with his Magnum, 757 or whatever. It's a big ass gun.
A Magnum 757.
Whatever that is. I don't know. I'm not good with guns. It's one of those big ass guns with a dirty, dirty gun.
Okay.
Dirty gun. Yeah, he's it's about the lengths that a spurned kid who didn't get what he wanted for Christmas will go to. It's damn. Yeah.
Well, there were moments I didn't get what I wanted, but I didn't exactly make a trek to the North Pole to go take out Santa.
Or take a contract out on him.
That either.
This 12-year-old kid takes out a contract on Santa, and he hires a guy who also was spurned as a child by Santa. So no good can come of it, but it's a really freaking good movie. I was shocked.
So it would almost be on par with like it would almost.
Mel Gibson was actually believable as Santa, but he was a very grumpy ass Santa.
Well, that's Mel Gibson as normal.
Yeah.
But it's almost kind of putting that up there with another movie of his that people debate: is it a Christmas movie or isn't it? And that would be Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, I don't know if I could call that a Christmas movie just because
It was set.
part of it happens on Christmas Eve, but
Part of it?
when I will, well, I mean, part of the movie isn't on Christmas Eve, but the very end was on Christmas Eve. But Die Hard happened on Christmas Eve and into Christmas Day.
So you would qualify Die Hard as a Christmas movie?
I would, because Christmas is all over that. All over that. You know, I mean, Let Snow, Let Snow, Reginald Bell Johnson singing Jingle Bells.
Now I have a machine gun, ho ho ho.
Huh?
Now I have a machine gun, ho ho ho.
Yes, now I have a machine gun. Yeah. Blowing up the Christmas trees and him strapping that gun behind his back with it don't open till Christmas. Tape.
It's like, well, it's after midnight. Here you go.
Yep.
What other? Oh, now I remember it now. Would you qualify The Nightmare Before Christmas a Halloween movie or a Christmas movie?
I think it goes both ways. I really do. First of all, I definitely think it's a Halloween movie. But when I watched it, Santa scared the hell out of me in that one. That Tim Burton Santa was scary.
What? You scare easy.
He was scary. I like Jack Skellington better.
Well, technically, wasn't that kind of the point? Because his selling point to sell it to the citizens of Halloween Town was to make Santa Claus sound like he was a scary motherfucker?
It could be, yeah. But to be honest, I've only seen it like once or twice, like 15 years ago.
Yeah, that one I'm saying it's both. I think it leans more into Christmas than it does Halloween, but it is both. And I know there's a lot of people that are like, oh.
I think anything that Tim Burton does lends himself to Halloween.
Yeah.
I mean, even okay, here's one for you. Is this a Christmas movie or is this a regular movie? Edward Scissorhands.
That one's a acid trip.
Yeah, that is. But I had such a big crush on Johnny Depp as Edward. Oh my gosh.
You were into the goth guys, weren't you?
I think so.
Because that was a goth look, if anything.
Yeah, I was just, but yeah, a lot of that happened on Christmas Eve. You know, it culminated on Christmas Eve at the very end of the movie. But, you know, it started off in the summer and then went all the way to Christmas. So I would say that's almost a Christmas movie too. But
Now, if there was a go-to Christmas movie that you would recommend for anybody, because mind you, the drive-in up until I think last week had a double feature of Die Hard with Lethal Weapon. Now, if you it's gone now, just mull in the moment of regret and let's move on. But if you could pick a double feature that the drive-in should show as the ultimate Christmas movie, what would you pick?
okay.
And it's got to be a pairing.
I'm sorry, what?
It's got to be a pairing, so you got to pick two.
Okay. Well, you definitely have to start off with the number one movie that, to me, just screams commercialism, that screams present, gimme, would be A Christmas Story. Have to have A Christmas Story, but I would pair that with It's a Wonderful Life. Because then you get into what's really important. And it's not exactly presents, it's not exactly money, it's the friends that you make. I think I might have gone way too freaking cerebral with that.
A little.
But that would be my theory. How about you?
Well, you got one of them. Now, see, I've never watched It's a Wonderful Life. It never really struck me as one I'd want to watch, even though Amanda's like, oh, it's pretty cool. I'm like, I don't really care. But if I had to pick.
It's not all Christmas. Literally, the only thing that is Christmas is like the last 20 minutes of the movie.
Okay, but let's analyze something here, though.
Go ahead.
Let's analyze one thing about that movie. And if I'm wrong, I'll own it, but you can correct me. Isn't the basis of that movie about 25 grand or a large amount of money goes missing? It's blamed. It gets blamed on Jimmy Stewart's character. He decides he wants to kill himself. This angel comes out of nowhere to show him what the world would be like without him. He comes back, and the motherfucker who was basically accusing him of the money going missing, there's no repercussions.
In a nutshell, yes.
How is that wonderful? I would still be pissed.
Well, then we need to make It's a Wonderful Life 2, motherfucker.
Well,
You know?
Technically-
George Bailey gets even.
technically, Saturday Night Live already did that.
Monster's going down.
Saturday Night Live already did it.
Oh, did they really?
Back when it was Dana Carvey, I think, on the show. So I think it was about the 80s.
I'm writing this down because I have got to watch it. I missed that.
But yeah, it was check that one out. I think you might be able to find it on YouTube. I don't know. But if I had to do a pairing, the ultimate pairing that would get me to come out in the 20-degree weather to sit in the car and watch two movies, it would be A Christmas Story first, followed by National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Okay, yeah. That's a good one, yes.
Because even though, as you put it, the first one focuses on the gimme, that was kind of like every child. There was always a kid who had the ultimate, this is the present I'm longing for, wishing for. I will do anything to put this seed in my parents' head gift. And our imaginations were full blown almost on that scale. So that one is very relatable to a lot of kids. Maybe not a lot, a good majority, but a lot of kids were like Ralphie growing up. And as far as Christmas Vacation, that one's relatable in the how the holidays can make you go, how it can make you go fucking crazy.
We're going to have a happiest Christmas and Bing Crosby did this from the fucking stage yet again. Yep.
Yeah.
Hallelujah. Where's the Tylenol?
Or Merry Christmas, kiss his ass, kiss my ass, Happy Hanukkah.
Kiss my ass. Kiss his ass. Kiss your ass. Happy Hanukkah. Now, I have a question for you, Dawn.
Go for it.
Speaking of Christmas Story and Ralphie's wish was to have that that Red Ryder BB gun. What was when you were younger, what was your ultimate Christmas wish, favorite present that you wanted?
This one's
that you
easy.
may or may not got it.
No, I never got it. I never got it. I will tell you straight up. I can tell you what it is. Growing up, you always got this in the mail. It was mostly addressed to the parents, but every kid grabbed it, and it was the Christmas catalog from Sears. Yes?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Every year that it came out since Star Wars came out, I would always grab that sucker, whip it open to the pages where the display of all the Star Wars action figures and the ships and all that was on it. And I would show my mom and she'd say, not a chance in hell. And because they weren't meant for girls. And I loved my mom. I still love my mom, but I just always look at her and go, it isn't just for boys. It isn't just for boys. I've always, my dream present that I wanted to get was the Millennium Falcon. The original Millennium Falcon that came out after the Star Wars movies came out. And I finally got it, but unfortunately we have these things called animals that destroyed them. So I had to buy that on my own. But it wasn't until I turned, I want to say 24, 25 that I finally got it. And then, it unfortunately got destroyed. But that was my dream gift, is getting the fucking Millennium Falcon.
Oh, that's cool.
And yeah.
Mine was getting the Western Barbie with her horse Dallas. That's all I've talked about for months and months and months. I finally got it. I did get it. I think I played with it for 2 weeks and then.
So you weren't like Debbie and Addams Family Values, where you were like, I wanted the ballerina Barbie. I was beautiful. I was delicate. And what did I get?
No.
Yeah.
Now, I did get something that was actually quite popular in 1984. I did get it, and I never asked for it. Do you remember the number one Christmas gift in 1984 that women were fighting over and slugging each other over and pulling each other's hair and throwing them down to the ground?
Yes.
Do you remember?
Yes.
Cabbage Patch Kid.
Yep.
Yep. I got one. I never asked for it. I wasn't interested. I was 10 years old.
And yet, there it was, with that goofy-looking grin on his face, staring at you.
Yeah, and you can't. I knew what it was without even opening it. You couldn't mistake the shape of that box. Now I got that. My sister wanted the Cabbage Patch doll.
She didn't get it.
My sister Kelly.
Uh-oh.
She got a knockoff Cabbage Patch Kid that some lady had sewn that came with the band that my mom and dad had just bought.
Yep.
Her name was Sarah Jane, but she got the knockoff, and I got the real thing. Okay.
That put a little strain on your relationship, didn't it?
Yeah, but she turned out she loved that doll. She carried that doll everywhere, but she was 9 years old, and I'm 10, like, okay. So 2 years later, 1985, what comes out? Cabbage Patch Kid Preemies. We each got a preemie. At this point, I'm almost 12 years old. Little too old for dolls.
Depends on the doll.
I will say, I still have both of them in a box in my basement.
Mm-hmm.
I do still have them, so.
Yeah. I think the oldest Christmas item I have, and I keep meaning to touch it up and fix it, is an ornament that is over 40 years old. And I made it in kindergarten class. And all it was a styrofoam ball. You painted it whatever color you wanted, put some tinsel on top, and maybe a splash of glitter, which ends up like an STD because you can't get rid of it. But basically, yeah, I have it in my office at home, and I stare at it every year and just go, I really need to touch it up, and I just have not touched it up. It's faded. Most of the tinsel's gone. But there's still glitter. Like I said, STD. But no matter how hard you try. But yeah, I think the oldest Christmas item I have in the house.
The oldest Christmas present that I have is actually not the Cabbage Patch. It's a blanket, a comforter. My grandmother, my grandma Jared, my dad's mom, gave all the grandkids, who I think it was like 9 of us at the time, maybe 8 or 9 of us. And I was 9, I think, and she gave us a Garfield comforter. And I was so excited. I'd never had a comforter before. It was always those, scratchy, weird polyester blankets, anyways, from the 1970s. But this was an honest to God Garfield quilt, fluffy. Now, what I have left could not even be recognizable as a comforter. All the stuffing has long been gone. Most of it's faded, but it's very, very soft. I actually use that like in the summer, because I don't know if you're like me, but when you go to sleep, I have to have something covering me, because if not, the boogeyman's going to get you. You have to have something. If it's a thin sheet, you got to have something that protects you from the boogeyman.
Which is always a marvel in and of itself, that a thin sheet is like the ultimate barrier against the fucking boogeyman, but okay.
Exactly. But I still have this. And occasionally when I break it out, when I go to sleep, my husband's, and it's ragged. It is, it's torn at the top, and, but I do wash it. I wash it very carefully in one of those lingerie bags, so it doesn't get wrapped around and stuff. My husband's like, so when are you going to throw that out? I said, so when are you going to throw out all those fishing rods you have there? Well, I use those. I use this.
There you go. There you go.
Yep. So I do know, though, when I went downstate, I did fold it up and I hid it, because I didn't want it to just disappear on me. he was eyeing it. I'm like, nope.
This is mine. Don't touch. Get away. Back off.
Yeah. I've had this thing for 40 years now. Don't touch.
Other than that, Christmas-wise, what would you think? I mean, the odds of Brad listening, slim to none.
No.
Do you guys exchange gifts? I mean, I know he's a Scrinch, but do you guys exchange gifts on Christmas?
Usually it's a card. But this year I did get him 2 gifts, and they're actually, what I do get him, occasionally when I do give him gifts, it's stuff that he can absolutely use, and it's usually fishing based.
Okay.
But for Christmas, for me, it's been a long time since he's got me something other than a card.
Is there at least a scratch off in it or something?
Anything that I want, anyways, I usually go onto Amazon and use his card anyway. You can think, oh, you're wrong. Thank you, honey.
This is the gift that keeps on giving.
Amen. Yeah, he'll come up to people and he's like, yeah, if a man has 20, a woman has 5, she actually has 25.
Yes, she does.
Like, oh, okay. But yeah.
So if he decided to surprise you one year, and would that be the ultimate Christmas gift if he gave you something other than a card?
Yes, I'd be shocked.
It wouldn't matter what it is. It could be an apple with a bow.
I'd be happy.
Now see,
as long as it wasn't, hey, we're moving again. Like 2 weeks notice.
Hey, we're moving again, and this time we're going to Ottawa.
Ottawa's the president of Canada is hot. I'm okay with that. Justin Trudeau is just really nice to look at and to listen to.
So you would forego all the snow and not care and all that other crap just so you can watch him in his I don't know, does he wear tight jeans?
I don't know, but I'd like to find out.
I bet you would.
whatever. He literally gave me a hall pass. But I haven't used it. I don't think I'm going to. But he's like,
Well, what are the odds?
When we were talking about Adam Driver, it's Adam Driver's birthday. I'm like, well, happy birthday, Adam. The Kylo Ren. I'm like, hello. And he's like, if you had a hall pass with him, would that make you happy? Like, yes. Like, that's the only thing keeping us apart.
Well, that and distance and other stuff, but.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, sure, okay, yeah. And he's like, well, okay, so wait a minute. That's not who I want the hall pass for. I want the hall pass with Christian Kane, the guy from Leverage and Librarians. And yeah, I'll take that. I said, okay, now who do you want? And he's like, Christina Hendricks. Okay. But they have to show up on our doorstep. On our doorstep, right there, you know, you can't go looking for them. But he got really mad at me one day. He woke up and he was so pissed. He's like, you turned in your hall pass and, you know, I came to the door and you wouldn't let me in. You said that you're turning in your hall pass. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And you said, Johnny Depp is sitting at the kitchen table and I'm turning my hall pass. You have to go somewhere else. And he said that he looked around me and there's Johnny Depp sitting at my kitchen table. I'm like, yeah, right. But he was literally pissed at me. I'm like, dude, it's your dream. I didn't have anything to do with your dream.
Well,
And
that may be, but you still have that moment because I'm not proud to admit it, but I have had dreams where I woke up pissed off as shit at Amanda. She did nothing except for appear in my dream. And she did something that was like, I was in full jealous rage mode type of thing. And I'd wake up, look at her, and I'm thinking, well, there's the pillow.
Yep. It is weird. Very, very weird.
But,
So, yeah.
just to, it's been a while since you and I have bitched, moaned, and commiserated over certain things. And by things, we'll refer to him as Sweet Potato Hitler.
Can I tell you something?
Sure.
Okay. I'm going to tell you. Coming from downstate to up here, it was a complete culture shock.
Oh, I bet.
Brad moved me to Trump country.
Oh, I kind of figured the minute you said where you were going, I'm like, you're screwed.
Oh my God. Well, let me just say, I bought a t-shirt when I was in hell officiating an awesome wedding, and it said, Trump makes America great, but the T and the P were crossed off, so all you saw was rum. Okay? So it said, rum makes America great. Now, that day, on election day, I put that shirt on.
Oh,
Okay?
boy.
I felt I was safe.
Oh, boy.
But here's the thing. I put a cardigan over. It was a little chilly. So I put the cardigan over the top of it. So you saw the rum. So they thought it was Trump. And I went next door to the bar. They're like, oh, yeah, you voted for Trump. I said, well, I voted 6 weeks ago. I didn't say who I voted for. I voted 6 weeks ago. Oh, you voted for Trump? I'm like, and I pulled my shirt open. They're like, I said, no, I voted for rum. They're like, what? I was like, so I have to be really, really careful because even this group that I'm involved in, some of the women are very, 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 very big Trump supporters and stuff like that. So I'm really, really careful of trying to bring up anything. The only thing I did was the following Saturday when they announced that Joe Biden had won. I very, very quietly went out and I installed my flagpole and put my American flag back out. It's the first time in 4 years I've done that because Trump made me so freaking embarrassed because he denigrated the meaning of that flag so much I couldn't put it back out.
Well, that's because he kept hugging it. You can't get that stain out.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was kind of in the same boat because I've had my flag out. I've been meaning to change it, but once he was elected, oh my God, I'm like, nope, staying out. This bleached flag. There's barely any red. There's barely any blue left on this flag. I'm like, it's staying out until that son of a bitch is out of the White House.
Yep.
And I still haven't changed it because he's not out yet.
Yep, January 20th at 12:01 p.m. Brand new flag. How's that?
Probably. But it'll be by kicking and screaming. And I'm telling you, I will be watching with popcorn.
Oh yeah. He's not going to go willingly. And you know, I had an argument, well, not an argument, a discussion with someone the other night who said, well, once Trump leaves the White House, he's not going to be a private citizen. How is he a private citizen? He's a former president. Once you're no longer in public office, you are a private citizen. And subject to all the rules and regulations thereof, including prosecution by state and federal authorities.
Which is why he does not want to leave the White House, because he knows the minute he tips one little toe out the door, the state of New York has already got their little finger going, come here, motherfucker. We get first dibs, because they already said they were going to do it.
Yep.
And after them, it'll be federal.
And it's going to be fast because the statute of limitations runs out in 2022. So it's going to happen next year.
Oh, yeah. And everyone can, and even though I don't doubt that it's part of the whole thing, everyone thinks it's just about getting more money before he leaves, because this is where he's made the most money with the least amount of repercussions, if you will. Because
well, I learned. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, what I was going to say is because most people, when they're the president, they go to Camp David, because that's taxpayer money and that's owned by basically the taxpayers, or more or less. No, he's taken the tax money reserved for Camp David. I think he's only been there very, very few times. And he goes to his own properties. So the money goes right back to him. So he can, I only make X amount and I donate it to charity. Yeah, because you were getting so much more money doing this other shit. So just to have them say that is like, okay, yeah, he's pulling the biggest grift job ever, but I think he's really, really fucking nervous about leaving because he knows his ass is on the line the minute he steps out. Exactly.
And let me tell you how he's going to fund that, okay? And I learned this on Tuesday. I had a long discussion with a friend of mine who is in politics and all that stuff. The reason Trump has not conceded is because the moment he concedes, he can no longer fundraise.
Yep.
And the fundraising with his PAC includes language that says it can be used for legal expenses. So he is going to keep denying it until January 20th. And January 20th, his PAC is shut down, but that money can be used for his defense when it comes time for him to be indicted.
Yeah, but if they use the same lawyers that they've been using for this whole fraudulent election, he's screwed.
Speaking of lawyers, you heard about the fart curve around the world, right?
In Michigan, yeah.
Oh my God, that was. I thought this couldn't possibly be real. I didn't hear about it until they lampooned it on Saturday Night Live. I immediately stopped the cold open, went to my phone, looked it up, and yep, there's Giuliani farting up a storm.
And I first saw that on Twitter, and I swear I thought someone was just dubbing the fart noise in. I didn't think he actually farted because no one really batted an eye.
No, the lady next to him.
Well, she kind of looked, but what? Wait, whoa! He did it twice because I only knew of once.
Yes, he did it twice. The first time, when the camera was looking at one of the congressmen, he was asking a question, and he heard this little sound. The second time, he was talking, not even batted an eye. He farted mid-sentence, didn't even stop. The lady next to him, as soon as he farted, whipped his head and looked and just like, oh my God, you got to watch it because he did it twice.
I'm going to have to look that up.
Oh, it was funny. I'm like, dear Lord. And of course, the next day, he's like, I have COVID.
Yeah.
Which that could have been like one of the major reasons why he was farting so much, stomach distress. So.
That doesn't explain the hair dye melting. Well, maybe it does. He might have had a fever. He might have had a fever at that point.
Yeah, it was. Oh.
I don't know. I'll just be glad when this is all fucking over. And even though it's gonna still linger on because there's gonna be the deniers, there's gonna be the people that say, "Oh, we all know it was a fraud." That you're just sheep believing what the liberal media is telling you. Blah 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 blah. No, we're not. And the fact that a lot of these people are delusional crack me the fuck up. I mean, my favorite, I'm not going to say where I saw this from, but I was watching a podcast where they were going on and on and on about all these mad restrictions the government is enforcing and it's hurting everybody and da 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 da. And I'm thinking, you don't wear your mask, do you? You're the type of person that wears their mask around their chin because your chin's cold, aren't you? And they were just going on and on and on. And I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, look, everyone's entitled to their opinion. Not one person has a right opinion. Not one person has a wrong opinion. We all have opinions of varying sizes of sorts. But the whole point is that when you start talking out your butt, and you make it sound like it's absolute dog shit, all in the name of you think it's truth, that's when it gets scary. And Stacy, I got news for you. There's a bit of a Christmas surprise about to come in here.
Oh, what's that?
What Christmas surprise is it?
Is that Marquise?
Is it Keys? Well, I'm waiting for them to. Mystery guest, will you identify yourself, please?
I'm on. Holy crap! It's been so long. That's why I do this. Hi, Stacy.
Hello. Hey, how are you?
What's up, girl?
Hey, I'm freezing.
You're freezing?
Go ahead. Tell them where you're at.
Where are you at?
East Jordan, Michigan,
You're where?
near Charlevoix. That's where I'm 12 miles southeast of Charlevoix, Michigan.
Oh. Why are you there?
Huh?
Why are you there?
We moved here.
Oh, you guys moved there. Nice.
Yeah, at the end of October, we bought a house. Yep.
Nice.
Yep, I love my little farmhouse, but the best part is there's a place called Jordan Inn. It's a bar, 20 seconds from door to door. There we go.
Nice.
But yeah, I moved here, but it's cold. It's snowing. I don't like snow. But it's nice to see ya.
I mean, okay, you're not really seeing me.
I was about to say, Stacy, are you sampling something out there?
Maybe, I don't know. Everybody can tap into those what is it? Those video cameras they have in there.
Well, there's maybe a couple.
I've been seeing you.
I mean, maybe. But I don't think that I'm okay. Am I on camera?
No.
No, we still haven't advanced that yet. So what's going on with the rants and our payments? What's going on with the show?
What's going on with the show? Well, obviously, we had to get another board operator because you went on to better things.
I did, yeah. Yes, dad stuff.
I was about to say daddy stuff.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I finally got married.
Yes. Oh, is that tattooed on?
Yeah.
It is tattooed on.
That is tattooed on.
That shit is forever now.
Yeah, and it got solidified on Thursday because that's when we finally realized they accepted the marriage license and sent us our copies.
I thought that you said that's when you finally consummated it.
That took them a long time, didn't it?
That happened that night. Amanda's gonna kill me. Little side story about the wedding.
That I did not get invited to.
You know, hardly anyone did, dude.
I could have been there with a mask.
I was there.
Oh!
That's not bad.
Oh!
She was officiating. She kind of had to. No, Amanda showed up. I already knew her hair was dyed red. That was already a plus in one direction. But she comes in late, which looked really bad at first because the organizer, Reverend Vaughn, comes up and goes, thinks that my sister is Amanda.
Ooh.
So she goes, and you are, and she goes, I'm her sister. I'm her sister. I'm no. I'm like, relax. She doesn't think you're gay, but it didn't look good that Amanda wasn't there right away. It's almost looked like I got stood up at the altar in a way. So when Amanda does show up, she's like, okay, so you guys, if you want to do it now, you can. The other couple already finished. So, and I'm like, well, just wait for Amanda to show up. She shows up, and I finally get to see what she looks like with the hair dye and the makeup and all that stuff. And she does this thing that she knows is an instant, okay, y'all need to leave the room kind of like thing, which is she lowered her mask, took off her glasses, arched an eyebrow. And she's in all this, fancy makeup and all stuff. And I'm like, we need to do this quick, and we need to do this now.
Is she about to cry?
No, because I was about to fucking jump her.
Oh!
She was ready.
I was ready.
Oh!
And the other thing that I didn't mention is I had abstained from everything for at least a month and a half.
Why?
You could say just to make it exactly it made it, and it did. It really did. So as soon as we got
You had to
home,
lower your tolerance?
as soon as we got home from the lunch, it was like within minutes. I'm on the couch. I'm like, I'm not getting dressed. I don't know about you. And that was pretty much it. And the best part is her mom dropped shit off. After we had dropped her off, she came back and dropped stuff off with a note that says, enjoy your time with the, and enjoy, I'm botching this up because I can't remember the exact note, but it was enjoy each other. I'm like, were we that loud?
Wow, awesome.
Good.
So yeah, we had a good day.
Did Krista show up?
At the wedding?
Or anything?
No.
No.
The only people who could be there, we could only have one witness each and the officiant. That was it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So, like I said, when I said not a lot of people went, not a lot of people went.
So is there like a post-COVID reception being planned?
There will be eventually, but it's not until next year. We put it off. We're going to kind of combine it as a reception / when I turn 50.
So like 22 years from now?
Try next year in July. So yeah.
You're way too young to be 50.
Hey, you know what? You took the words on my mind.
No, I turn 50 next year. We figured the wedding cake is she married an old fart. So it combines the two things. It'll combine the reception and the birthday right there. But so how you been doing?
Great.
That's all you got. That is all you got. Great. Great.
Yep. Yeah.
Can you tell me about the kiddos?
Which one? No, I'm kidding. Why do people act like they got like 5 kids? I've got like 2.
I know.
No.
Both of them. How's that? Both
Okay.
of them.
Okay.
Because the last time I hosted, I don't think that your second one had been born yet.
Wow, that was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. My oldest. I had to go through a lot of stuff to get custody of my oldest. So I got somewhat more custody of my oldest over COVID, and which is why I had to step away from the show, and because I knew that Cortez was a way better producer than I am, and I decided that this show needed a boost, and that Cortez was the only person that could do that. As much of a legend as I am here in the cave, I am the Obama of cave radio, the first black man here.
You know what? I was gonna say the same thing, man.
I paved the way that made him feel comfortable with having us in here. No,
Very much so.
I'm kidding. No, but no, I wanted to do more dad stuff. Like I felt like I only get my kids on weekends, and so I didn't want to take a chunk of it doing this and not spending time with my kids. So I wanted to spend more time with my kids, and that's what I've been doing, man. Spending a whole lot of time. Spending a whole lot of time with the kids, and my youngest is he's super smart and talking and hanging out and kicking it. I just bought him a Hulk outfit, so he's like he hasn't taken that off yet. Probably won't take it off for another month and a half. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Where is Chris? Did she join us already? Did Chris already join us?
Well, she didn't join us today.
No.
Didn't join us today.
No.
Nope.
What, is she still in isolation, quarantine?
Yes. Somewhere outside of, where did we say, Ottawa? Saskatchewan?
Yeah, I think it was Ottawa or North Pole, somewhere like that.
Yeah.
Well, she missed it. I came here to talk to her. I came here to talk to Stacy, but it would have been great. The exact text I got here. Let me read the text that I got from Dawn. You ready?
I kept it simple.
Hey, Marquise, we're doing the show. I would love it if you would come by, especially to talk to Stacy because we knew how much you loved her and did not like Krista as much. I said, okay, I'll be there. We knew that Stacy was your favorite.
Oh,
We knew.
ouch. I mean, I'm very, very flattered, but shit.
Oh,
So here is the original text. Hey, Keys, it's Dawn. Sorry I'm late contacting you, but I wasn't feeling well. Would you be interested in joining Cortez and I Saturday for the show Radiothon? Stacy will be joining us via Skype. Krista, unfortunately, cannot join us.
There you go. That's exactly what I said.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said,
Exactly
word for
what I
word.
said.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah.
I'll have my press secretary tell you guys that. Are you guys got on that yet?
Which part?
I thought about all of us on the day after the election, like all of us.
I think the day after the election, we were supposed to have a show, but a lot of things happened at that exact time. So we literally took the month of November off.
Yeah, I was gonna say I had some car issues.
Okay.
And, you know.
Okay.
But we're here now. We're here now.
I mean, this is like our whole the whole show was originally, well, it wasn't originally predicated on Trump, but it was Trump heavy for a good year and a half.
Yeah.
Pun intended.
Yeah, so I mean we're all happy, right? Like, I mean, do we see this?
Well, I think if anything, we have to call one thing. You and I were both wrong.
I was wrong because I thought he was going to win.
I thought he was going to win too.
100% thought he was going to win.
I honestly thought he was as well.
And I thought,
I will say, nope, I knew Biden was going to win, but it was really iffy there before he joined the race, because I knew that the Democratic Party didn't have anybody in there before he came in that could beat Trump. But as soon as he got in, I'm like, yep, he's the only person that could beat Trump. And I think Democrats and independents were so pissed off that they were so lax and didn't go out to vote 2016. They weren't going to let that happen again. So that was my thought. Anyways, go ahead.
that sounds good.
That sounds perfect.
I mean, that day was so crazy because like we all knew that it wasn't going to be called that night. Right?
No.
Like we all knew that was mail-in voting or whatever. But we all of our hearts stopped when the first votes came in, and we were like, shit.
It's like, 4 more years.
And then all of a sudden, as if it was 28-3, like all of a sudden, like comebacks were starting to come. Like, and I mean, shout out to places like Detroit.
Or like he said, the massive dumps.
Yes.
Yeah, he took a massive dump, all right.
Well, it's so funny that he railed for months on mail-in voting, discouraging his people who could have mail-in voted to mail-in vote.
Exactly.
And so he screwed himself.
That's not the only thing. I mean, he also was just basically trying to cast that no matter what we do, it's going to be rigged thing. And there's a thing they played not too long after 2016 when he won, where he said, yeah, I was saying it was rigged, but now that I won, clearly it's not.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, they have been saying for weeks, they're like, this election is not going to be called the night of the election because Biden was telling everybody, be safe, vote from home, mail-in vote. Trump was telling all of his supporters, there's nothing wrong, go to the polls, vote in person. Those votes, when you're in person, they're counted so much more quickly than the mail-in votes because those mail-in votes can't be counted until after 8 o'clock. You have to open the envelopes, you have to match the signatures, and then you have to put them through. It takes a lot longer. So of course he's going to think that he's winning the evening of the election because it's the Republican votes that are coming in, but the Democratic votes haven't come in yet.
Well, it started to turn around, like I'd say 10, 11 o'clock. You started to see some of these catch-ups start to happen. Like I felt really good. I felt really good about, okay, so there's stuff that still has to come in, and he's really close. Like this is actually looking pretty good. I thought that Trump was going to, and I thought even if Biden won, I thought that he had already stacked it because he could have challenged it to the Supreme Court and then won it that way. And so to my shock, when the Supreme Court said, "Man, we're not listening to anything you got to say."
One sentence. Like, damn.
Yeah,
Yeah, he pretty much thought that he fought and loaded the Supreme Court, that they were going to do whatever he wanted. But these people are like, we're on here for life, and you don't have a chance. So bye-bye.
It's like we can't turn a blind eye to what's clearly written in black and white here.
Exactly.
I've been describing it as the end of the movie where the villain is coked out and all of his and like killing and turning on all of his friends. All of his friends are turning on him, and he's sitting there coked out by himself with his hair all messed up, wife beer all over here. He's just like rambling, I won fake votes.
Kind of like the end of Scarface, only we're waiting for him to break out a bucket of KFC and.
Yeah,
Yep.
he's just I was thinking, well, I was more thinking Smoking Aces, where Jeremy Piven is just super coked out and he's just like everyone's turning on him. Yeah, I still see, the thing is he still got to get in there and do something, right? Biden still got to go in there and do something.
Yeah.
And he's not going to be able to do anything because the Senate is Republican.
For right now, yes. No, it's the Senate. The House is they gained a few seats in the House, but I think the House is still predominantly Democratic.
Right. So there's nothing. And now when you think about it, it's kind of a stupid system, right? Because if you have two houses that are majority different parties, you're never going to get anything done. It's what happened to Obama, because he could never get anything through because he had to go through the House first, which was Republican.
Mm-hmm.
It was flipped at the time, so it never got to the Senate. Now
you guys got that in your head. Am I the only one that has a different thing playing out? Which is, you have all these Trump supporters. And when I say not all of them, I'm talking about the maniacal, the one that believe no matter whatever Trump says is gold.
Oh, like my coworker.
And
we all got a couple of those.
I'm thinking on that inauguration day, with Trump already saying he's not leaving. Not directly, but I guess behind closed doors, he's been screaming it. There's going to be that one supporter who's going to show up on Inauguration Day and basically say, wish granted. I'm honestly foreseeing something unpleasant.
I mean, then Kamala Harris would be the president.
You don't think they aren't going to aim the crosshairs to a little?
Look. I've seen a lot of.
Well, I know they were saying something about they're not going to do the one thing. They're going to just do something virtual for all the high donor supporters. But I didn't know how much of they were going to change. But there's still always that risk.
Don't they still have to do the whole president walk across the White House lawn and get into the chopper and go away, never to be seen ever again?
Except to Mar-a-Lago and the golf course.
Well, I mean, but that's just a shot that we all get, right? Isn't that like the finality of every presidency is that shot of him and the wife and the dog and the kids getting in the chopper and off to wherever.
And doing this.
I know I was in tears when Obama left.
Yeah.
I was in tears. I'm like, no, we can't go. You're the voice of freaking reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see Trump Jr. in 2024.
Now you say 2024 Trump Jr. Everyone else is saying Ivanka.
Nah, she didn't.
If she's not in jail,
Ivanka?
they're all going down. They're all going down. Yeah, they're all going down.
If I'm Biden, I'm gonna get in there and I'm gonna dismantle everything that they. Well, I'm not only gonna dismantle, but I'm gonna make sure all of them go to jail for all that shit that he was talking about during the campaign trail. Oh, I'm gonna make sure that that all of them go down.
I think that goes against Biden's plan of trying to unite rather than divide further, because that will divide even further.
Who gives a bleep? Have you seen the last 4 years? Somebody got to pay for that.
I agree, but I don't think he's going to do anything in that severity.
Yo, that's the problem. That's the problem with the Democrats. Because if it was a Republican, like if it was found out that Obama had did some stuff and they could like prosecute him on war crimes, nobody would have been like, let's not do that to him and divide the country. No, they would have taken it.
That's what Trump did.
Right, but what? Okay, but so that's what I'm saying. It's like the Democrats got to do. Well, if there was actually merit to the things that they said Obama did,
right?
If there was merit, the only reason why nothing happened is because there was no merit. But there is merit to the things that Trump has done. There's in his goons, like there's merit to it. So why not? Like I want to see them all go in jail, down to that lion ass blonde chick.
To be honest,
The second one, not the first one.
The state of New York is already going to take care of it.
Exactly.
They're gonna be like, hey, you know what?
I can't-
New York, go ahead, because then if it's a state thing, no president, no matter who it is, even if Biden was going to be magnanimous, he couldn't pardon him. It's a state thing. So
I mean, I still think
yeah,
the Bush.
just like Trump wants to preemptively pardon his kids and stuff like that, but you can't do that. That's not how that works. You can't pardon someone until they've been charged with a crime. You can't just give them a get out of jail free card. That's not how this works.
And besides, why are you going to pardon somebody who hasn't done anything wrong?
Right.
Exactly.
Right, what you
That's
pardon
why I
them
said
for?
they're all going to jail.
Go figure. Go figure.
So is this like 24 hours?
54.
54 hours?
Yep.
So someone's been in here for the majority of all that? Because I'm worried that
I don't-
my show's not going to make it all in together, and I might have to just put on an old show.
We could always chat.
Yeah.
But I honestly don't know.
I would love to stay. I'm not going to be able to stay because I don't know if you heard earlier, but I was talked into dressing up as an elf, and I'm in a Christmas parade up here.
Something tells me you weren't talked into it. Some tells me that you actually volunteered it, and now you're just saying,
No,
I was talked into it.
I am praying that the outfit is too small.
I mean, that
Like,
might
it's just
you might want it to be too big. B might come out. You might come out, and B might see that, and he might be like, yeah, we ain't going nowhere tonight."
Be like, ho, 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 ho.
No. He's downstate, so that would be
Oh.
a possibility.
Oh,
He's fishing.
oh. I mean, so are you with that little ass dress you got on?
No, if it's a dress, I absolutely will not be wearing it because it's fucking cold up here.
I mean, ain't nobody tell you to go to Charlotte Boy.
Well,
It's snowing. I don't drive in the shit either. I'm stuck in a little tiny town of 2,500 people, and they're all Trump supporters.
Yeah, oh yeah, I was gonna say that.
So
I was gonna-
lonely.
are you sure you're not back in hell, Stacy?
And those are the hardcore Trump people. Those are the people
Yes,
that.
they are.
Those are the
They
people
still
who-
have their Trump signs up.
Yep.
I was gonna say I stay in Milford and I still got people with banners hanging from these trucks.
How the hell do you live in Milford, man?
I got a
Yeah.
white girl.
Oh, you got
Changed.
man, you got a white girl from Milford.
Man, I need it. She actually from Owasso. Never knew what that was. So.
It's like, where's the Wasso? I don't know.
That's the dream.
So that up there, Lansing? Yeah.
Her parents like you?
Oh yeah, my kids up there right now decorating cookies in Nashville.
Oh, good, good, good.
I'll give you my address if you want to ship up some of those cookies. I
Oh.
like cookies.
And we got you. Kids handmade.
I wanted.
Those are the best ones. The ones that kids make, those are the best ones. You know, because you can taste all the love that goes with them, and occasionally they put too much sugar in it, and it's just awesome.
And all the sprinkles are in one corner of the cookie.
Yes, and the frosting you just kind of peel off and eat it as its own little cookie. It's wonderful. My mouth is watering. Sorry. I ate some cookies. Today.
Got a little drool going there, do you?
Just a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Ugh.
I've been traumatized. I watched. I was going to talk about this later on, but I've been traumatized by a show that I've been watching this week.
If you give me another homework assignment where I'm going to come in and want to kill you, I'm
Nobody's
done.
giving you a homework assignment.
Good, because that thing about don't fuck with cats thing. Ay.
What? What was wrong with that? Hey, look, I told you, man. It was a fucked up story.
No shit. Anyway, go on.
Okay, guys, have you guys ever heard of the show I Love a Mama's Boy?
No. I Love a Mama's Boy?
What platform?
It's on TLC.
That explains it.
I know, right? But like, if you have cable and you have on demand, you could probably find this because it's on TLC.
Nope.
Listen, if you want to laugh, like if you want a hardcore just laugh, this is the show. Okay, why? I'm glad that you asked.
I'm trying to come up with words to figure out why you're watching this, but okay.
I love a mama's boy. Okay, sorry. I love a mama's
That's what I said. What did I say?
I don't
No,
know.
it came through my speakers wrong. So I thought you said high level.
Oh, high level mama's boys. Some of these are high level mama's boys. Not gonna lie. So basically, what it.
YouTube. I'm gonna have to look at this.
Oh, it's on Hulu. I can watch it.
Well, it's on Hulu Premium, so it's like if you have the live unlocked. Believe me, I had to watch this on demand on AT&T demand. So basically, what it is these girls got boyfriends who are extreme mama boys. You're like, oh, what's an extreme mama's boy? You know, like, I'm pretty sure if your mom's still around and you get along with her, you probably really love your mom. Me and my mom, we've like developed a better bet. Well, we never had a bad relationship, but we've developed a relationship even more now because like now my mom smokes weed, so we like FaceTime and smoke weed together.
You bond over the weed.
Yes.
My parents do it too, man.
My mom calls me at like 4:00 and be like, "What you doing?" I'm still at work. Like,
I'm waking bacon. What are you doing?
like, mom, you are in the healthcare industry. Like, you are sort of a famous TikTok nurse. Stop it. What are you doing? But anyway, but these guys like literally let their moms run their life. So let's just take, for example, there is one woman, there's a couple, he's a Muslim guy, and it's an Asian woman, right? And the mama ain't about it because the girl's Asian, and she wants her to marry a Muslim, she wants him to marry a Muslim woman.
Okay.
He just said, she's out of culture, she's not right, I'm never gonna like her. She tries her best to get along with this woman. This woman has like dogged her to her face, like says like, yeah, he was married to a girl and I don't know why he broke up with her, but she'll never be her. She'll never be as pretty as her, never be as good as her. Oh no, it gets worse.
Oh
no, it gets so like the mom had a birthday party, and I don't know why this dude was so stupid to think that surprising someone with someone you don't like is a good idea. But he's like, oh yeah, well, she doesn't know that she's coming, but you know, I figure once I surprise her with her for her birthday and give her a gift that she wants, mom will love you. Nope, that's not what happened. That's not what happened.
I can almost see where it's what did happen.
So she shows up and she's like, why are you here? She's like, you ruined my birthday. And he's like, mom, he bought her a cake. She's like, she bought your cake. She takes the cake and throws it across the table like, I don't want it anymore. I don't want your gift.
Oh my God.
It gets worse. It gets worse.
You sure this wasn't staged just for drama?
Could be, but the look on this girl, look, I'm going to tell you this. If it's staged, you need to give all those people all the awards. All of them. Oscars, Peabodys, Razzies, MTV Music, MTV Video, all of them. They need all the awards if this is acting.
The yappies, but go on.
So check this out. So now the guy once again says, hey, it becomes COVID because they filmed this over COVID. He says, let's go to dinner with my mom. We're going to go to dinner with my mom and let's just talk, right? Mom shows up first. They show up second together. Tell me why they walked in and this bitch had another woman there talking about, this is the wife that I want you to have. Right there, yo. Right there. So she sits down. Wait a minute. So she sits down and she's like, what is this? She was like, this is Waseed. This is the woman I'd like you to marry. I don't want you to have her. She's pig. And then so he's like, Mom, it's not gonna be like that. I want her to be in my life. She gets up and she's like, okay, I'm done. Thank you. Goodbye. And oh, I didn't mention this. They had a Valentine's Day dinner, right? He told her, you're not coming to this dinner because all these guys spent Valentine's Day with their girlfriends and their moms. It's like 4 couples, right? And so he said, you're not going to come on this dinner with us. In the middle of the dinner, she calls and says, my leg hurts. This dude, mid-bite, got up and left his girl by herself for Valentine's dinner. This isn't even the worst of the 4 couples. I could go on all day about this, and I think I am.
Yeah, but that guy doesn't exactly sound like a mama's boy that you were describing, the Muslim guy, because if he was like, Mom, this is the one I'm going to marry, he would have said, this is the one? Okay. It was nice. I'll be talking to you. I'm going to marry her.
She was. It's like, look, I love this woman and I'm trying to grow up. But like a lot of these, when you hear the stories, it's like, Shaquille's dad died when he was 7, or it's been just us since he was 10. So you can understand how the relationship grew so strong. But look,
it didn't get Oedipus, did it?
Some of it feels that way. One of these dudes decided that he was going to be, okay, so one of these guys, he was with his girl, they were living together, house burnt down, they had to move in with the mom. The mom says, I don't want you leaving anymore, so I got this big piece of property. We're going to tear down the garage and build you a house on the property. Oh, by the way, it's 30 feet away, and I want a bedroom in this house.
Oh, hell no.
Like, words bond. So they're gonna go. So she's like, I'm gonna go to New York. Like, I'm gonna take you for your birthday to New York, right? Tell me why the mom comes out in a Statue of Liberty outfit, like, guess who's coming with you? and so the girl's like, you need to tell your mom that she needs to step back. He's like, I don't see what's wrong. All these guys are like, I don't see what's wrong. She just wants to hang with us. Like, I'm telling you, watch this show. It is so funny, like how pathetic these dudes are. One of them, I'm convinced, is gay. And he's using his girl as a beard.
And he doesn't want to tell mommy.
Speaking of that, I feel the same way about John Legend.
That John Legend's gay and doesn't want to tell anybody?
Yeah, I think that's a cover up.
Chrissy Teigen is a bit. Wow, that's a take.
That's one hell of a beard because
man.
That's one hell of a beard. That's style and moosing the hell out of that beard. I mean, what the hell?
They're more friends than anything.
I definitely believe they have a real good friendship. They joke together, and don't get me wrong, I believe there's a relationship. But I honestly believe that he's really gay and he has been covering it up all this time. Just about every musician, I'm sure we all know.
I thought he was just an ordinary person.
No, he just sleep with ordinary people.
Except for Christy Teigen.
Question for you guys.
Yo.
She gave him the green light.
You know who Todd Chrisley is?
Yes. Chrisley knows best. Oh my God.
I swear he's gay.
Duh.
And I keep trying to tell Brad that man's gay. No, he's not. Brad, he is more gay than my Aunt Lloyd. I'm telling you.
Your Aunt Lloyd.
I just caught it.
Yeah. I had an uncle. His name was Lloyd. We called him Aunt Lloyd. He was a bitch.
He was flaming.
He's dead now, but yeah.
Dead serious.
I mean, does anybody else think the same, or am I alone?
No, I've been saying the guys. Yeah. I have a broken gaydar, and every time I look at that guy, the arrow finally moves and goes, "Boom!" So, can you Google Chrisley knows best?
Chrisley knows best?
No, not Chrisley. Chrisley. It's all one word. Chrisley, like Cryssley.
Like, what does he do? Is he like a reality guy?
Yes, that's on TLC too, isn't it? That's.
I think it is, yeah. But he micromanages.
Yeah, there you go.
He's got that Paul Lynde type lisp.
He has a Paul Lynde type look. What are you talking about?
Yes, I mean everything is perfect. I mean he's got a huge amount of plastic surgery.
I was getting ready to say the word plastic surgery. Wow.
Todd Chrisley addresses gay rumors. You think there's a rumor?
Most people, when you got to address the rumors, you're probably gay.
Yeah.
Oh no, I just love the pussy.
Oh, behave. I love it.
Now, I have a question. I saw something on TV the other day that this person came out. She was a man who transgendered and has declared herself to be a lesbian.
What?
Wait,
how
what?
does that happen? I'm just curious.
Wait,
how does that happen?
say again?
If you're a man who transgenders to be a woman, but then
Want to be gay?
like,
That's actually very
I'm
common.
just kind of curious. I'm just curious how that works.
It's
I'm
more
not
common
trying to
than you
make fun of it.
think.
I'm just technically curious how that works.
It's
It's
just
just-
to be a proper bottle.
You want to be, or you want to be a lesbian. Like some people, some dudes say, look, I want to be a lesbian. Like I want to be a girl who likes girls. I don't
Yeah.
want to be a man who likes girls. I want to be a girl who likes girls.
The ultimate, I'm a lesbian trapped in a man's body.
Yeah.
So, question: can I refer to myself as a lesbian because I like women?
Ugh.
Do you want to be a woman?
Nah.
Then no.
Just about as big.
You just,
Hey
you
now.
just walk in the women's bathroom like it's okay. I'm a dyke. I'm sorry, not that. I mean, I am a hardcore woman, hardcore lesbian. Stud. That's what I was looking for.
Now the funny
I was
thing
looking
is,
for
if I were to walk into a men's room, I think Richard Jenny put it best. If a woman, even drunkenly, walks into a men's restroom, it's like a hero's welcome. They're like, "Hey, come on in. We're not doing anything. Pull up a stall. Hey, woo!"
And guys will like form like a half circle around her with their backs turned so she can piss in the urinal.
Exactly. But if a guy walks into a women's restroom,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's like we R-word every woman in there just by walking in on accident.
yeah, even an accident, just oops, bam.
You perv! But you know what? That's men's
Attempted
fault.
rapist shot in women's restroom.
It's you know what? It's men's fault. You know why? Because this creep shot phenomena has started, and now like dudes are out here with the camera phone taking pictures of women's asses in Walmart.
Oh yeah, that's a big thing.
It's a big thing. Like y'all have no idea. And let me
Are
tell
you
something,
serious?
Dawn. Let me tell you something, Don. It don't discriminate. It might be you up on the creep shot site.
I
Oh, for real, they don't discriminate.
No, I hope they enjoy the boxers they find because that's what they're gonna see.
They don't discriminate.
They're gonna be like, "Holy shit! I have the same brand and the same size."
It'll say like big booty milk with friend walk through Walmart. And you're just like, what?
I'd be like, "I'm a MILF? Oh my god! I'm honored."
Big booty milk with short hair, and they'll put you in the short hair fetish category.
That would I would actually be. I would probably laugh. I would probably laugh.
And it's just you walking around like, come on, Amanda, let's go.
You have no idea the camera is on you.
You have no idea. I don't know how these dudes, like sometimes these dudes like take it down, recalibrate, re-angle, and you're like, how are you doing this?
You got full production.
You got that crane shot coming in. You got the drone zooming from
It
above.
seriously be like that. It seriously be feeling like that. Like they got a full production going. So following this girl through the store for like 20 minutes. That's why when I'm in the store with my girl, man, I be looking back like, hey man, nobody behind us for more than 2 aisles.
Listen, I ain't even gonna lie. Walmart be having the thickens.
Mm-hmm.
Now, see, this is why I don't call the Walmart.
Thickens.
This is why I don't call the Walmart. Besides, I hate them,
I
but
do vending machines at Chrysler in Sterling Heights. That place got more booty per capita.
I'm not surprised.
Like everybody in there got a big booty. Everybody, even the dudes. I'm like, damn, yeet. All out here, all that ass on the Thursday.
See them coming out, and you got a Coke in your hand, going, "How you
They
doing?"
be coming up to me and legs like, hey dog, can I get a Sprite?
Oh,
Sure.
I'm sorry, I haven't done radio since July. This is all picked up.
And scene. Anyway, we're gonna wrap things up here. Oh yes, it's 4:00, sir.
Oh great.
We're on the dot.
And we're going to wrap things up for our show, but Marquise's show is next. It's Project Q&A. Anything you wanted to learn and so much more.
Yeah, like I lost my flash drive with all my production on it, so we have nothing.
Nothing. Absolutely nada. So I urge you to continue to listen. There's going to be a lot of great shows all weekend long. And again, this is also not only just to bring you new listeners or even you old listeners in to explore all the different shows and all the different opinions all these shows bring. It's also to make sure we also do our part to make sure this stays afloat, because this station does a lot of good for a lot of people and a lot of businesses. And it really would be a shame to see anything stop because of a stupid friggin' pandemic. So, again, cannot stress this enough. If you want to take part in the raffle, you can go buy a $10 raffle ticket at the Cash App, $Cave Radio, Venmo at Daniel-Mayer-13, PayPal, DEEJER at caveradiobroadcasting.com, and always make sure to put your name and cell phone in the notes. Or Stacy, tell them how they can just donate.
You can donate through Cash App at I missed it. I don't. You could go to Cave Radio on Facebook, and they have all the information on there.
And if not, you can also catch us on YouTube under. Well, I'll post all of this stuff on our Facebook page on Rants in Our Pants. But also, like I said, if you can donate, that'd be great. If you want to get in the raffle, that's great too. Other than that, I got nothing else. This is the last one for the year, right?
I have the address. It's Cash App is $Cave Radio.
$Cave is all one word.
All one word.
Okay. So basically, this is the last show of the season for Rants in Our Pants. There's been a lot of great things that happened this year. Tons of shit that definitely happened. But I would like to thank Marquise again for joining us. Cortez for jumping in. The guests that we have had, Stacy present, Baked Salmon, Wes Mose.
Wow, all those people were here on the show?
Yeah, at the very beginning of the year, remember?
Oh, right. That was the Chris Hansen thing, right?
Yes, that was. To Catch a Predator, the whole issue with the doxing and shit. And also thanks to Krista for joining us again for another year. Hopefully we can keep going and keep bringing different things to the table. Politics. I would love to talk more pop culture. I would love to. We talked about, you missed it. You would have loved it. I brought in a thing. Amanda swears is a puzzle game. Both me and him, it was a butt plug.
It was definitely a butt plug.
Yeah. Amanda swears it's a game. I'm telling you, it's a fucking butt plug.
Made out of glass.
Wait a minute, who had it?
Amanda. I don't know if she bought it or what, but it's been in the house since I moved in 20 years ago.
Supposed to be?
It's supposed to be a game.
On Facebook. You need to put it on Rants in Our Pants and let
I don't have
fans
Facebook
judge.
anymore.
I think I will, but it basically looks like a ring that you have to hook onto like a thing, but it's inside a glass butt plug. I kid you not. And she's like, it's not a butt plug. And here's the best part. I brought it home after that show, and she fucking got the little, it looked almost exactly like that. But she got the little thing on the hook. And she goes, see, it's a game. I'm like, oh, it's a game, all right. Kudos if you did it with your hands, but more props if you did it with your butt.
Oh my God.
Did you try sticking it anywhere?
No. Sir, I am justly married. I would like to remain so.
I mean, now that you're married, there's more reason for that, right? Now,
That's technically not
Well,
cheating.
be like, how would you like to spice things up? And I'll whip out this little thing. She goes, no.
Well, first off, Dawn, you should know that you don't just bring that up on your woman. You kind of got to like talk about it a little bit, but also you got to properly get her ready for that, properly lubed up.
So liquor and lube, got it.
Well, No, I mean, what?
Pun intended. Liquor and lube.
You know,
3 items.
rectal lubrication is definitely, and rectal massaging is very important in that situation.
Rectal
Then you can just
massaging.
then you can just
So you're saying I got to bend her over and go work with me? You feel
no,
tense?
you got to,
Make sure your nails clipped first.
yeah, you got to do that, and then you just got to kind of like, you got to rub it, and then slip a thumb in there, and then I know that's how you got to do
You
it.
got to press against the walls like you're trying to open it.
You're basically
Yeah.
saying I got to go yodelay, yodelay, yodelay.
Yeah, but you got to massage it. You got to massage it first so that it relaxes. It's like a dog. You can't just walk up to a dog and just start. You got to pet it.
Why would I do that to the dog?
Well, I'm saying with the dog, you just can't be aggressive with. You got to pet the dog, let the dog trust you, and then the dog will let you know it is okay.
So now you're calling Amanda a dog. That's not cool.
I
No,
was not. I was calling her butthole a dog.
Where's your test, Keith? Where's your test? Come on.
I'm saying this is how. Look, I'm trying to get her to use the butt plug.
I am not using the butt plug, sir.
Don't you guys miss me?
Anyway, we're going to wrap things up and clear the way for Marquise and his butt plug expertise.
Merry Christmas, guys.
Merry Christmas to you too. Thanks to everybody that's listening. And I can't encourage this enough. Please donate what you can to Cave Radio. And we will see you in the new year, or as we like to say, see you next year. Until next year, keep your rants in your pants and keep listening on to Cave.
I gotta see if I have.
Yo.